actually dealt with this. So people need to understand this. If you have property with no fence, no barrier, people are allowed to walk on your property and do whatever they want. All you can do is ask them to leave.
What?
If you have property, if that is proof that you committed a crime, that is felony burglary. We've actually dealt with this. So people need to understand this. If you have property with no fence, no barrier, people are allowed to walk on your property and do whatever they want. All you can do is ask them to leave.
That is absolutely not true. Just because you don't have a fence doesn't mean people are entitled to operate on your property. Now, if you have like a huge ass farm or something, you can't be like sniping people who have wandered onto your property, but...
If you put up a sign saying no trespassing, and they walk onto your property, they're now guilty of a slap on the wrist trespassing charge because they've been given a warning. If you take a piece of thread, a tiny piece of thread, and wrap it around your property, and someone goes underneath it, they've now committed felony burglary because they have bypassed a physical barrier, regardless of what that barrier is. So when he entered the house, he had committed a felony. Now, he wasn't convicted of that, I don't know. The point was, there were a string of burglaries and the police...
Well, he was dead, so I don't know how they get convicted of it.
Were asking people, have you seen this man? So when they saw him running in the street, they were like, that's the guy the cops told us about. Chased after him, called the police said, do not pursue.
Okay, hold on. So when you say this, okay, Jesus Christ, it's been so long, I didn't cover this one closely. So when you say the cops told him that, right? So I'm looking at an article from the Independent. The white father and son accused of murdering Ahmed Arbery were told by police that he wasn't a burglar days before they chased the black 25-year-old and shot him dead in the street, according to prosecutors. So were the prosecutors lying there, or did the police specifically say that this guy was not a burglar?
I didn't know where that article's from, because if I'm talking about facts after the case...
These are opening statements relating to beginning Friday morning of the trial of the three white men accused of murdering black 25-year-old Ahmed Arbery.
The police went to them and said, we're looking for this man. He is a felony burglary suspect. The issue...
Apparently, the prosecutors also shared statements from the suspects where they admitted that they did not believe that he'd even stolen anything. Apparently, Greg
stealing
Raymond
is not burglary, though. That's the important distinction. Burglary is illegally entering a premises.
Yeah, but were they
chasing?
But they were chasing him because they thought that he had carried out other burglaries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But apparently...
He wasn't just jogging, right? This is not, look,
yeah, but I'm saying, like, was the citizen's arrest because he walked into a property because they thought he was stealing shit?
A gun had gone missing and they thought he was the guy who did it.
Yeah.
There was a string of thefts.
But then when Gregory McMichael is here telling investigators, I don't think the guy's actually stolen anything out of there for statements relating to seeing
That was a video where he enters a building and then leaves. They believe that was evidence that he had been the person who had actually been stealing things. A few weeks prior to the incident, a gun had been stolen from the vehicle. That's the most pronounced part of the story.
Gotcha.
So, regardless...
Also, this is saying Travis McMichael shot Mr. Arbery 3 times with a shotgun. That sounds like it went off more than once.
You should watch the video.
Okay. He shot himself 3 times.
Wait, what is the... Oh, wait, some guy linked all this shit. We're in Georgia. Did you link the... Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, Georgia, burglary, crime. Okay, dwelling means any building, structure, or portion thereof, which is designed or intended for occupancy for residential use. And then railroad, okay. A person commits the offense of burglary in the first degree when, without authority and with the intent to commit a felony or theft therein, he or she enters or remains within an occupied, unoccupied, or vacant dwelling, house of another, or any building, vehicle, railroad car, watercraft, aircraft, or other such structure designed for use as the dwelling of another. A person who commits the offense of burglary in the first degree shall be guilty of a felony, and upon conviction thereof shall be punished by imprisonment for not less than 1 nor more than 20 years. Upon the second conviction of burglary, a person commits the offense of burglary in the second degree when, without authority and with the intent to commit a felony or theft therein, he or she enters or remains within an occupied, unoccupied, or vacant building, structure. What's the differences? The authority with the intent to commit a felony or theft therein, he or she... Wait, I'm sorry. What's the difference between first and second degree here? Is for burglary? A house under construction isn't designed or intended for occupancy until the construction is finished. No, maybe. Without authority with the intent to commit a felony, she enters or remains. This is enters or remains within an occupied, unoccupied, or vacant dwelling house of another. This says or vacant building, structure. Okay, so this is just includes more things. Any other building, vehicle, railroad car, watercraft, aircraft. Oh, okay. So the first degree one includes some more structures as well, I guess. Okay, so you have to have the intent to commit a felony or theft there, and it's not just enough to trespass. Destiny, I assume you know this, but it is always a red flag when someone gives a definitive answer on a legal question on a hypothetical. It depends always needs to be present in some way. Well, it depends on what part it depends on. But Tim Pool has consistently shown he doesn't understand anything regarding the law. Like, anytime he quotes anything legally, he doesn't usually know what he's talking about or understand. He's probably quoting InfoWars or wherever he read some stupid opinion, but... first degree, a structure designed for use as the dwelling of another, and the second degree is any building. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Okay. Were all three when they were fighting over it?
Off cam. So here's the issue.
Okay.
If two people are holding a gun, they're both in possession of the gun.
Sure.
So it's not as simple to say in a news story that he shot him 3 times. That's a prosecution.
Yeah, but two people holding a shotgun
and fighting over it, and then it goes off
3 times.
Probably well, he was still holding it, and then he fired 2
Semi-auto.
Have any of these guys fired a shotgun before? Wait, what?
Okay, a shotgun. You fired a shotgun before, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, 2 people holding, even with buckshot, if you pull the trigger with 2, that shotgun's gonna go flying.
So it's really weird if you watch the video. You can see both of their hands are on it, and they're shaking it back and forth. They had tight grips.
Okay, maybe. I'll look it up.
Take into consideration the statements of the defense and the prosecution are going to favor their view of the story.
Of course.
And the ultimate conclusion was based on the fact that they were performing a citizen's arrest, but because they had not witnessed a felony in progress, they had no right to perform a citizen's arrest.
Sure.
Thus,
and because the cops told them explicitly to back off.
Exactly.
And that he wasn't a burglary suspect?
He was.
But the cops
said apparently the prosecutor said that the cops had made the statement to these people days earlier that he explicitly was not a burglary suspect. Do we have the video to watch?
The video of the shooting?
The shotgun? Yeah, I'm curious.
Oh, I mean, I'll try and pull it up, but I gotta be honest, we recently tried pulling it up. It's really hard to find. But let's
okay,
read some
yeah, go. I don't want to thing.
But anyway, my point is just this. Not that it's like the clearest cut case of self-defense like with Kyle Rittenhouse.
Sure.
But it's that this guy's not a jogger. It's not so simple to say like 3 guys lynched this dude or whatever.
Wait, was he not a jogger?
Like, come on. Like, you think a guy drove 26 miles from his house to jog to a random
That's what he said. Okay, there it is. That 26 miles from his house.
suburban neighborhood?
I don't even know if that's hard. This reminds me of like when people like did Rittenhouse go to a whole other state to defend his property.
The dude didn't live there.
Yeah, sure, but I don't know where I don't know where he lives.
Oh,
maybe
no,
he lives in an apartment complex. He drives I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
We'll read some more super chats and then we'll talk more.
Okay. Anyway, that's why I'm curious about the facts of this case. How far away was he from his house?
Home to the place where he was fatally shot. Well, yes, I actually took a driving measurement from his residence to where the house under construction was located, which is at play in this investigation, and that's located at 222 Hill Drive, and it was approximately 1.8 miles.
Oof. Well, so that was a fucking lie.
The scene of the shooting is a little further down the road, approximately 2.5 miles within my estimate. I want to ask you some more background information now about the defendants in this case, and we'll start with Travis McMichael. Travis McMichael, were you able to determine what his age was? I will let you guess, Travis McMichael.
I mean, if you're an avid runner, 2 miles, 28 miles, it's the same shit.
34 years of age. He resided with his father, his mother, and his sister at 230 Central Drive in Brunswick, Georgia. And did he have some prior training in the Coast Guard? Yes. He served in the Coast Guard as a boarding officer who's involved with the interdiction of vessels. He had training reference to that, and that's what he held. You had mentioned that you lived on Satilla Drive with his father. What is his father's name, please? His father's name is Greg McMichael. How old was he at the time of the commission of these crimes? 64 years of age. And did they live together? They did. Can you tell the court a little bit about the background of Greg McMichael, the father in this case? Yes, Greg McMichael was a retired investigator with the Brunswick Judicial Circuit. He served that retired as an investigator from the Judicial Circuit. And specifically, did he at some point in his background also work with Wayne County Police? He did, yes, sir. We want to turn our attention now to the third defendant, 50 years of age. He was employed as a small engine mechanic. Before I turn our attention to the actual date of the crime and your arrest warrant, I want to talk about the Satilla Shores neighborhood. Are you familiar with it? I am, yes, sir. And you had already mentioned on your direct examination previously reference to a home that was under construction. Can you please explain to the court the significance of that home and where it was located? Yes, that residence is at 220 Satilla Drive. It belonged to a gentleman by the name of Larry English. It was a home under construction. Greg McMichael, when he referred to the shell of the house, he was in the process of constructing his home as you go into Satilla Shores.
Wait, okay, let's have this.
Yes, that residence is at 220 Satilla Drive. It belonged to a gentleman by the name of Larry English. It was a home under construction. Greg McMichael, when he refers to it as a shell of a house, he was in the process of constructing his home. As you go into Satilla Shores neighborhood, you go down a short way and it's on the right. It's as you come in. This home was important in this investigation because the deceased victim in this investigation, Lana Aubrey, had been seen inside that home on security camera footage prior to the shooting incident. And on the day of the shooting incident, the neighbor had seen him inside of the home that's under construction. Focusing now on that home, you said that the home was under construction. Was it secured or unsecured at the time of the shooting? Unsecured. And when I say unsecured, describe for the court its state. The upper walls of the house and the windows were in the house. There are no interior walls, it's studs. We didn't have this from the security camera footage that shows the interior of the residence. There was no garage, or does not appear to be any garage doors on the house, which is actually attached to the house. In the video, we couldn't tell if it had a front door or not, but it's very obvious that
diesem Chat schreiben, 1 Cent, das kann nur Gammelfleisch sein. Da siehst du einfach die geistige Beschränktheit. Verstehst du, was ich meine? Ja, nee, das ist alles Separatorenfleisch, weiß man ja, ganz klar.
Patrick, wo machst du das Fleisch jetzt?
Da vielleicht noch für den Chat, für die es nicht verstanden haben, für den ersten Tag, ne? Und es ist 1 Cent. Wir verschenken das Ding, weil wir von unserer Quali überzeugt sind und wollen, dass so viele wie möglich auch das Ding probieren. Ne? Also das ist natürlich nicht dauerhaft, dass 1 Cent nur Gammelfleisch hat.
Also, ich möchte ganz kurz anmerken, auf das Brot bin ich extrem gespannt.
Ich auch, sehr, sehr.
Gut, können wir das mal nachaufnehmen, Marcel?
Vom Patrick. Das sieht schon, also muss ich wirklich sagen,
Stark.
also wenn das so schmeckt, wie es aussieht, Patrick, dann hast du auf jeden Fall schon mal einen dicken Pluspunkt mit diesem Selfmade-Brot.
Okay.
Und lieber Livestream-Chat, jeder hatte hier ja auch die gleichen Chancen. Also jeder hätte vorbereiten können, jeder hätte Selfmade-Brot machen können. Seit wann weißt du, dass du mitmachst? Seit 2 Wochen. Also
Aber
nur,
ich habe mich ehrlicherweise auch erst seit 2 Tagen beschäftigt.
nee, aber ich meine bloß im Verhältnis, jeder der Kandidaten, ein Kandidat war Ersatzkandidat, also ein Kandidat, der hier mitmachen wollte, hat abgesagt. Das heißt, wer war der Ersatzkandidat?
Ich weiß es gar nicht. Ich bin gar nicht.
Ja, der
Der
Junge.
Ersatzkandidat? Okay, wann wusstest du? Heute wahrscheinlich dann, ne?
David.
Vorgestern, okay. Der Ersatzkandidat wusste vorgestern Bescheid, dass
Aber
es
den
heute
Jungen
losgeht.
kenne ich, der ist immer bereit. Der hat immer was im Kühlschrank liegen, so. Der ist bei jedem
Patrick,
Der ist der, den du kennst.
Ja,
Du wusstest jetzt vor 2 Wochen, das heißt, jeder hatte im Grunde genug Zeit, selbst wenn man Selfmade-Brot nicht machen kann, hatte man genug Zeit, um sich YouTube-Videos anzugucken, Tutorials, wie man das macht, weil es geht am Ende um erster Platz 7.500 Euro, zweiter Platz 2.500 Euro. Das heißt, auch wenn das vielleicht für euch gerade der Eindruck ist, als wenn Patrick der Vorbereitetste ist, vielleicht hat er sich am meisten Zeit auch für die Vorbereitung genommen, aber jeder hätte sich so vorbereiten können, beziehungsweise sich solche Gedanken machen können wie Patrick. Nicht, dass die anderen Kandidaten sich nicht die Gedanken gemacht haben, aber Elias beispielsweise, ohne jetzt böse, Elias hat kein selbstgemachtes Brot gehabt, nicht, dass es nicht performt, aber jeder hat eigentlich die gleichen Voraussetzungen, außer der Ersatzkandidat, aber das wusste er, weil Ersatzkandidat ist halt Ersatzkandidat.
Also ich würde nie in eine Soße selber oder in irgendeinen Salat Koriander reinmachen, wenn ich einer breiten Masse was anbiete, weil das zu riskant ist.
Kommt das nochmal in Kontaktgrill dann? Ja. Oh, geil.
Bernd, was würdest du denn sagen als Koch und leidenschaftlicher Koch? Was ist das beste Fleisch für einen Döner, wenn du es jetzt selber machen würdest?
Selber zu Hause,
Ja.
ich würde das schon wahrscheinlich, ich würde safe auf Rinderfilet gehen dann.
Sichere
und
Nummer?
ich muss auch ehrlich sein, ich habe ja bei Killerdam, bei Ferdi gelernt, weil der hat ja, wir haben ja schon mal gegeneinander
Hat er
Döner
Filet
gemacht.
bei mir gemacht?
Ich denke, das war Filet.
Ja.
Das war schon gut. Ne? Und eben auch, was ich hier vermisst habe aktuell, so auch vorhin, dass die keinen Joghurt mit in die Marinade gemacht haben. So finde ich auch. Gerade bei dem Homemade-Geschichte kriegt man schon sehr, sehr geilen Dönergeschmack hin. Und das hat Ferdi bei dem Döner, den er gemacht hat, für dich damals.
Stop! Lab, definitely stop, okay? Everybody needs to stop right now with this conversation. I'm engaging with women in a loving, wholesome, non-romantic, non-sexual way, and we're gonna continue to do that, okay? Stop.
It doesn't seem that way.
That's true. I don't think that. No, I think that our relationship is like very platonic, and I don't
I'm
even thinking of that.
Lab, I'm gonna have to stop you there because I do not agree from the things that I've seen in the past between the two of you. One from you, first off, I believe one of the messages of you making fun of Steven and his penis and things like that. Then going next after that, like
Making
totally
fun
I
of
would
his
fuck
penis.
it. Or something along those lines. Just, you know,
Only a
fuck
cheese
it,
boy.
sure.
I called him a cheese boy. I called
Talk
him
shit
a-
behind the scenes about me. That is
Yeah,
true.
It is not good. And then the next thing, trying to cover yourself by going out there and say, oh, I would totally f*** him. These are not normal ways to handle these conflicts, and you are at fault for doing this type of thing. You know how often me or Mr. Mitten or f***ing Lycan go out there and we have a slight issue with Steve, and then the next thing we do is we're making Twitter posts about him,
Sure.
or going on stream and talking shit? That is a very uniquely bitchy asshole thing that all of you guys are doing, and it's something that you guys need. No, well, you don't get to just say I'm right. You need to
No.
stop being like. That's why you have problems.
I have. That was months ago, and that was also. Let me put things into perspective with you.
I feel like
tried-
that was also very recently that you went and you did this whole thing on Steve and everything else. Didn't we see clips from you yesterday?
No, that was not. You're talking about the cheese boy thing and the sex thing. That
Well, I
brought up?
mean,
That
there's
was
so many
like
things.
months
Which,
ago.
My
sorry,
stream
that,
with
but
me.
other things. You know?
My stream with me too, right? Like,
that I wouldn't.
Maybe we just shouldn't
No.
ask people like, would you fuck somebody? Maybe that would be the.
No, exactly. No, that's what I was just about to say. Like when you put into public like a personal relationship that I may or may not have with like another person that I don't want public, I think it's a very normal response to be like, oh no, I'd fucking never. That's gross. Especially when so many people are like, oh, he only talks to her because he wants to, right? Of course I have to distance myself from that. That's like an extremely normal behavior.
You know, there's a little, hold on, there's a little thing here, and most people don't know this because most people aren't streamers, but I've dabbled in it in the past, and I'll say this right now. When you are reading chat, you have the ability to read certain messages out loud and not to read certain messages out loud. And you all consciously made the choice to say, oh, someone said, hey, are you fucking Steven? And instead of just not reading that message, you chose to go in there and be like, no,
it's funny.
there
Man, you're really just going hard on this, Dan. Nice job. Keep digging.
It's fun. It's like a fun little teaser. It's like this is I mean, part of our job as streamers is to like entertain. So it's like funny to bring up, but I don't think that anyone's entitled to like the full actual story, right? The reality is something that is like just ours to keep.
Listen, I understand. I'm just saying, look, I feel like a lot of the reason that this crew gets a lot of hate is that you guys are pretty well known for this kind of being snaky, I guess, is like kind of the very simple way of doing it. Untrustworthy, unreliable, people that would like, you know, after this call, they might try to get together and have another call and talk about how shitty you are and, you know, what dirt can we do and start talking. That's really what it comes down to, is it's that gut feeling that you can't explain away by being nice on a call or anything else. And that's something that needs to be worked on to kind of like stop doing that type of thing. Just to be authentic, be yourself around the person and not around them, the same.
Sure, I also don't think that you can speak for Steven. I think that
I don't need to, because you guys complain about chat and how they feel about you, not Steve. And I'm telling you right now.
But you saying that I'm snaky, I think I've certainly like maybe I've talked about things but so Steven talks about things when I'm not there also, like about how I'm like a Darvo perpetuator, right? So like,
hold on, wait. Just to be clear, I'm not trying to stir more shit, but anything that I ever say to my streamer privately, I will say to you publicly, and I'm not going to like pretend
and
that
I'll do the same thing. Steven, I'll do the same fucking thing. You act like everything I said to Max I hadn't said to you in DMs. It's like insane.
Okay, I don't want to relitigate the whole argument, but you definitely have a way of phrasing things where you're confronting the person in a way that sounds much softer and less aggressive than when you're talking to another person.
Of course. That's literally how relationships work, especially if I care about my relationship with you. Of course. What do you mean? That's like normal human behavior.
Well, not really. Not really, no.
No, because it's not on extreme. It's not on like an extreme scale. I'm not telling Max like, Steven, I'm never gonna fucking speak to him again. Nobody should. I hate him. He's toxic. And then going to you and being like, love you so much.
No, I understand.
This is so sweet.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I'm staying in the center.
Okay.
I'm being more
okay, hold on. I'm trying to be very charitable to you right now. I'm trying to be very charitable. I'm trying to be.
Finish my thought, please. I think it is very normal for me, who is very emotional, for me to try to not burden you with my emotions when I'm talking to you, but when I'm not around you, to express my emotions more freely. I think that is normal and that is healthy.
Okay, I'm trying to be very charitable towards you, okay? But to me, having somebody say, because I act, unlike you lunatics, I'll say you pride yourselves on being empathetic, blah, blah, blah. I actually pride myself on being a relatively empathetic person. For you to say something like, I don't know if I would ever want to be friends with him because I'm not going to teach him how to treat me like a proper human being. That's an incredibly aggressive statement to make, okay?
First of all, no, I think that honestly, if I did say that would make sense. I did not say it that way. If you watch the whole video with me and Max, that is absolutely not the position I take whatsoever.
That is, first of all, you said... Just to be clear, yesterday you said you barely talked to me in that conversation, you didn't remember saying anything. So why would I watch the whole 30-minute thing? You only mentioned it for like 1 minute.
No, I mean, yeah.
And that is basically exactly what you say. What am I...
No.
Okay, go ahead. What am I missing?
I promise it's not. I think I had a very normal conversation with Max, who I felt had an anxious attachment to you. So I was speaking about you the way that Max views it. I wasn't saying, and I told you this yesterday, I think that you're a good person. I think that you're a great person. I don't know if Max's attachment is healthy to you.
Okay, I don't want to... I'll say my thing and you can have the last words because I don't want to relitigate this whole thing, okay? But when you tell somebody, I'm not going to teach that other person how to treat me.
The implication isn't, oh, well, they're a great person, we just don't get along. The implication is this person is a fucking asshole, and I'm not going to sit there and take the time to teach him how to treat someone with basic human respect. That's what every single person listening to the conversation is going to walk away thinking. That's what it sounds like.
Okay, and we talked about how I probably shouldn't have said that with an audience watching. I get that.
Well, even if you said it privately, that's like the implication.
I didn't know that that was what I was implying. I thought I was in the meta. I thought that I was in a meta conversation with Max. I did not know that that's what I was implying in the moment. That's certainly not what I meant.
Okay.
What I meant to say was like, you know, if I told this to Max, I said, you can't put yourself in situations where you're like constantly needing something. Like you can't stay in relationships where like you're never not needing something. Which I think is a healthy.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand the longer explanation now. I'm just saying that most people aren't going to hear it that way. That's all I was saying.
Sure, but I think I made it pretty clear that for Max, being in a friendship with someone who's a little more on the avoidance side is going to be harder for him to navigate.
Okay, hold on. You're using the psych words. Triggering.
Okay.
Hold on, just to be clear, wait, hold on. I just want to
No, I think you.
I want to finish a goddamn statement. You just spoke for 20 minutes, okay? Let me, real quick, okay? When you describe my attachment style as avoidant, it doesn't map on to the type of relationship that I have with Max. Because every single time Max has requested for me to have a conversation with him, either privately or publicly, I have always agreed to have those conversations, and I have never been avoidant about what he wanted to speak about. So even that statement doesn't necessarily make sense. Oh, he's avoidant, so you're not going to get along with him. I'm not avoidant at all when it comes to Max. Not only am I not avoidant, I would argue that I've probably had some of the most emotionally open conversation with Max on stream than I have with anybody before. So I don't know why you would describe me as avoidant and think that that somehow is like mapping on to the type of relationship that I have with Max. Doesn't make sense.
Hey, can I like say, I just feel like it's really low trust. So everyone here has such low trust with streamers. I feel like we're coming off
No, that is not true.
Like,
it is for you guys because you earn it with the way that you fucking act. Not low trust for other people.
Yeah, hold on, wait. I want to be clear, Brittany, I want to be really clear. I had really high trust in Lab, okay? Because, and this is something that ordinarily I would probably pump the brakes a lot on. Technically, now Lab is going to say she didn't mean it, but Lab had logs leaked and she was talking shit about me in her Discord, okay? But I assume that, okay, she's just talking shit or whatever. Maybe it's just jokes, maybe not.
Cheese Boy. These are the Cheese Boy league player comments.
Sure, regardless. Well, and also that like, oh, he would suck my husband's dick while I would watch and laugh or whatever. It was some pretty out there chat logs, okay?
Wow.
Let's be real, Lab. They're pretty,
funny.
but regardless of those, like, you know what? Maybe she, you know, I'm famous, she's talking shit in her Discord, whatever, maybe I'll give her a chance. So I don't think it's fair to say, oh, I have really low trust in Lab. That's not true. I let her slide with that one, and I think it was,
No. Low trust or high trust because preemptively. It's like saying that as a streamer, you had this whole thing happen with Twitch and Bosch and all these other Hassan people, right? So like you would naturally have maybe an internalized or a subconscious hesitation to assume, like you try to assume the best of people. Maybe you do it better than most, but like Lab and Mr. Girl and all these people, like don't you feel like there's a hesitancy though? Like isn't there a hesitancy? Wait. Don't you always say that relationships are like we have to go through shit for me to trust you? Right?
Yeah, with something that could like damage me or something, but like, first of all, Lab knows this. I already have pretty high trust in Lab in terms of things that she knows about me, okay? Yes, Lab, say yes, because you know that's true. Yeah, so I have decently high trust in Lab, okay? And I don't think that I have issues, and I know it comes off that way publicly, and I can never really convince anyone otherwise, but like, I don't have trust issues with people in terms of like opening up to people or trying to feel where
No, don't think superficial. Think about like, would you trust me right now if I asked you for your bank number or like your social security number?
Of course, 100%. You would. I would for you, yeah.
Stop it, Steven. No, you would not. You should not.
For you, Brittany? Yeah, I don't think you'd f me over. Of course.
Oh my God, what evidence do you have that I wouldn't be crazy?
I feel like I've spoken enough with you personally that I probably trust you. I think I would.
Can I?
Yeah,
I don't know if I would trust Lab with that information, but...
So this, you shouldn't. I would rub wine.
I've heard Lab say some crazy shit. I don't know how I'd feel about that. I feel like it'd be part of one of her fucking plans. But yeah, I think I would trust you. Go ahead.
So, this is Max is throwing me a bone here, but he's translating for me. He said, you meant that you don't think it's realistic that Steven is going to meet my needs as I've outlined them, not that he's a bad person if he doesn't meet them. And I think that that's completely true. I think that's what I said on the stream. That
okay, so you and Max I wouldn't trust either of you to understand what a normal person interprets a message as. Okay, so Max can't work as a translator. Okay, Max can't translate for you when I have to translate for him for any. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's fine, but I hope at the very least you see where I was coming from and that my intent was not to like shit talk you. It was more of just trying to like level with Max, which I think is notable, at least.
Maybe.
Man, this is some level 900 spinster shit right here.
Oh Jesus Christ!
My intention was not to shit talk you. Come on, just own it and then move on.
Well, no, hold on. To be clear, I don't think the intention was to shit talk me, but it definitely was the hardcore implication. Like, I don't think you went into that conversation like, oh, I'm gonna shit on Steven right now. But I think it came up, and I think the way that it came off was like pretty obviously like negatively slanted. And again, I think 99% of people would hear that and they'd be like, yeah, of course, like she's shit talking, 100%. Like, in most people.
If there's anything I can work on, I think the biggest thing is to think before I speak.
That is always a good thing to do, yes.
And that's what I will leave with, is that I struggle with that, and I will work harder, and I appreciate all of the people who have given me very harsh but needed criticism. Hopefully I continue to flourish, and I love you guys, even Dan. Goodbye.
I only speak the truth. I don't know. Yeah, okay. I am the mirrorest mirror. As they say about that.
You were the truest among us, honestly.
I like to feel that...
Steven!
Yeah.
Don't lie though. Send it to me right now. Give me your bank information right now.
No. I don't think you would f me over.
I wouldn't, but you don't know. How do you know that? You're just like, you're hoping, right? Like, it's a faith. You have faith in me. Or you have faith in your own judgment of me.
Do your messages like pop up on stream?
No, I'm showing just... No, don't even...
I mean, I'll send, if you don't believe me, I'll do it. I really don't think you would fuck me over. I can send you all like my bank account, my routing number, my account number, my business for my DG.
Okay,
I truly don't think you'd fuck me over.
This means nothing anyways, because Steven knows there's very little damage you can do with it. Now, the question is, would you give her stuff that she could actually do damage with? Like, I'll give you my routing and bank account number because you can't do all with it, and if it could, it's trivial for me to
why are you $69?
So really what you're saying here didn't matter. It was a good example. The real the test of trust here should be something that is irreversible and creates significant harm in his life. And of course, for that, he would not openly give that to
Well,
you.
I mean, I've already trusted her with some personal information that if it were leaked, it would be pretty, like, dramatic.
Oh, it'll be interesting.
But I mean, she has it, so I think I relatively trust her. Like, the thing is, because I'm so open publicly about like all of my private stuff, there's not really much that Dan, of all the things you know about me, would you say there's more than like one private thing right now that would truly like blow back on me in a pretty insane way? And even that one thing wouldn't be like that catastrophic.
Well, I don't know. Oh, so much of my... Well, I know of at least two. I mentioned one of them the other day. So I know...
For me?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the second one? Wait, DM me. What?
What? Of things that would be a fucking shit show for you?
Yeah.
Impossible to explain?
Oh, no, wait. wait.
That's another one. I know of another one, too. You know, just...
Sure, okay, but I'm just saying, like, aside from like 2 or 3 things, most of my stuff is like very public, okay?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so there's like not much that like could f me over, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem. Maybe you share so much it makes everyone feel like there must be something he's like.
Yeah, some people do feel that way. Yes, I do agree. Some people do feel that way.
But also the shit that you guys know, I don't know. I mean, it's not really end of the world for him, honestly. Like, I'm imagining it right now if that got out, and it's like, he just, you know, it's not that bad. Nothing changes, right?
Yeah, I'm also like, I'm like such an open person. Like, if something like dramatic leaks about me, I'd probably like, okay, well, that's kind of annoying, I guess. But it's like whatever. But at the end of the day, it doesn't impact me that much. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Steven, are you ready to take accountability?
For what?
Well, here you guys. Steven, are you ready to take accountability?
I don't understand why you're acting like I'm just like this like useless retard.
The reason why I'm acting like you're a useless retard is because of the fact that when you speak on these topics, you speak so assertively, and then you're pretty on the edge of being extremely disrespectful. But beyond that, after you're called out on it, then your fallback is I was confused, or I haven't thought these things through, or I was being hypocritical, or whatever. And I'm just like, right. If you're not even gonna
You'd rather me not acknowledge that I have shortcomings?
I would rather you not have conversations if you don't think. I just want to say.
We definitely have different thought patterns.
What did you just say to me? You just told me to shut up.
Yeah, I think that we have
very
different
polite.
thought patterns.
If you would have added the V word, I honestly would
Yeah, I can see that that can be very sensitive and emotional. But I
Oh,
think
using that as an insult.
Why? 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 That was so nice. Why?
Well, Abba, no, hold on. Abba came in a little heated towards her. She can be heated.
Abba's giving her now.
Don't run cover for stop running interference for him.
Yes! Don't. How are you saying no? You're saying that
That's
Lab
because
is
you're
allowed to
reframing
call
what
someone.
I'm saying. You're chipping away at what I'll tell you the prescription. I love telling you what to do. You want me to tell you what to do? I'll fucking tell you.
Wait. Why would Death need for Steven to protect grown adults from their own choices?
You're so wrong.
You have no
I don't want to talk to you about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm willing to be civil. You try to destroy my life. You can talk about it.
I tried to destroy. I deleted the tweet again with you.
It doesn't matter.
Right? I deleted it.
Doesn't
Now
matter.
I
We're done. Stardust, we're done. We're done. Stardust. You and I, it doesn't matter. Nothing you did, it doesn't matter. And let him stand as the captain of this. Let him stand. Oh my God! Stop! All of your voices drowning me out. You should let him stand as the captain of this ship. Tall and strong. Shut the up. You should let him stand.
I'm actually about to nuke you from orbit. Lab, this is one of the things where you're too young and actually stupid to even begin to comment on. If you do this, I'll actually lose my shit. Let's do it! I changed my mind! Let's do it! Hold on. No, sorry, hold on. I completely changed my mind. Lab, I give you permission. Go. Go ahead. Go ahead, bring it up. Let's do it. Let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Before you respond, I want to have judoed you into having to listen to this.
No, I want to. I'm excited.
But your first response to it was, I'm going to cut ties with you and press it.
He thought about it?
I thought about it. You're right. I was wrong.
It doesn't matter what he said after he thought about it. I just want it to be acknowledged that when Lad says, hey, I think you mistreated this person very publicly and I want to press you on it, his first response was, I will cut ties with you.
I have the right to do that. I don't even know if Lab benefits that much from being on my platform. No, you're saying I don't. You're saying that as part of my response. You're playing the fucking word game again. You're so abusive with the way that you talk, okay? You're doing this double speak where you're like, you have the right to do it, but you're arguing that I ought not to do it, okay? You know what I mean when I say that. Stop trying to dance around the 3 or 4 different definitions you can describe a word at any point in the conversation. You're saying that I ought not to act in a certain way, and I'm saying I can't do that. And you're like, well, technically you can do that, but that's not what we're talking about. Hold on, stop. You're telling me that it is unethical for me to tell Lab that I don't want to have that conversation with her because it's an abuse of my power. Can you give me a yes or no to that? Or you can use a sentence, but explain what if I'm allowed to do that.
My question was, do you acknowledge?
I don't know why you're asking me a question. I'm asking you, is it ethical for me to tell Lab I don't want to talk about that, or I'm going to kick you off? Is that an ethical thing to do, or is that unethical? Answer that question.
I don't know. Can I explain? Can I explain?
Yes, do
Can I
it.
explain?
Yes, explain it. I want to hear. Yes, please. Yes. Go. I'm sorry, because earlier it seemed like you implied exactly. But go ahead.
I know. Let me explain myself.
Explain it.
Okay.
Help.
My question was, do you see that as a very defensive reaction? That was all I asked. You said, but I have the right to do it.
And are you ready to take accountability? Well, here you guys have been having consistent arguments, dissecting with a confused, self-described confused 24-year-old who doesn't know what she's talking about and doesn't think before she speaks. At what point is there like no point in having these conversations? She doesn't know what she's talking about, and you're out here frustrating yourself trying to figure out what she's talking about.
Don't forget, he's getting paid for this. So
Well,
he'll do this all day, every
the
day.
thing that's interesting for me is I know that she quote unquote doesn't know what she's talking about because she's still exploring, but like neither did Sneeko. But like to watch the evolution of those thought processes in those people, especially because I can see shards of myself in those younger people too. Bro, if I could have been a live streamer at 18 or 19 years old, you think Lab is arrogant? Dude, I was writing journals about how I thought I was gonna be the smartest person in the world. I was an unbelievably fucking arrogant teenager. Like literal fucking anime villain wannabe. Dude, if I could have had those thoughts broadcast to the world, it would be so fucking cringe. Like these kids today don't realize how lucky our generation is that like Zyngas and live journals and shit, that shit doesn't exist anymore because if that shit got leaked, it would be so fucking cringe. It's So like in some ways I see, I do see like reflections of like my younger version of myself and some of these people too. So it's interesting to see how they grow and change. And like if I can provide like a little push along the way, it's always, it's always interesting.
I don't disagree with you. My issue is the fact that you bring her on stream and start dissecting what she's saying. You're getting heated and upset about some of the stuff or how she's saying it. And I'm like, bruh, she's confused. She's told you she's confused.
I think that confusion is okay, and it's okay to be thinking and working on stuff. The things that I start to get frustrated about are when I feel like they're starting to get aggressive towards me, because there's no amount of her personal confusion should make her seem like, oh, I think you're bad faith. That's not true. I'm absolutely not. Very true. And when those types of like messages start coming out, well then I'm gonna start getting upset.
You start to get upset. Why?
Because now she's mischaracterizing me, and that has nothing to do with her own personal confusion. That just has to do with like an emotional frustration being attacked by audiences and stuff. That's what's gonna like set me up. When it gets personal towards me, and no longer.
Is that because she's your friend, or is that because she's putting bad things about you on the internet, which everyone does about you? So
No, it's because she's making a super ultra bad analysis. She's saying that like, oh, you were being very uncharitable towards me, when no, I'm being ultra charitable towards you. And the fact that you're mixing those up is really frustrating, because my community rails me for being too charitable towards you, and now you're railing me for not being charitable enough, and I'm not going to take it from both ends like that. That's going to drive me crazy.
I just want to try how she can have the defense of she's confused, she doesn't think things through, she has political opinions, doesn't think before she speaks.
Well, that's more convenient to do it that way. If you don't answer, you're just never kind of always like, oh, yeah, I haven't thought about that. It's easy. A lot harder to be like, oh, I thought this was good, and I was wrong. And take accountability for it.
So you think she's saying that stuff to escape accountability, and she has thought about it?
I think partially it's accountability, but I think it's also, I think there's also like a huge like shade of truth to it, right? Like these online communities are like hardcore, like to your throat if you're minorly incorrect about things. Even my community does it to me. Like I couldn't imagine, and I think a lot of these people don't even know what normal people think. Like if you brought on a normie and asked them about like trans people, they'd probably be, you mean hermaphrodites? You mean cross-dress? Like they wouldn't even know the difference. The average person, even in the United States today, probably wouldn't. And the audience would eviscerate those people. So it is a really rough community to step into and try to figure your thoughts out. It's going to be hardcore judged by everybody.
Yep. Not easy. Being cheesy. You know who said that?
Who said that, man?
Chester Cheetah.
Greatest philosopher. What? You don't know Chester Cheetah? I'm confused. Yes, the Cheeto guy. It's a cat, right?
Okay. Okay. I'm actually maybe I'm going on. Maybe
when you say you're super curious.
So, ignoring what Dave just said, if somebody's mental faculties are compromised, and they come to you and they want to start having debates, and you know the reason why they're posting or saying all this crazy stuff is because they're mentally compromised, okay? And you're like, I'm not going to have this person on. That's a take I would probably agree with in a lot of situations. Now, if someone says they're too young and too stupid or too unable to think things through, and that's why we shouldn't take them seriously, but you still bring them on, you don't feel like there's something there that's wrong?
No, I don't think so. As long as people aren't like too hard for it. Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think that I would say that I jerk myself up, but I think I'm a good person to like have those conversations with, because I think I'm one of the few people on this planet that can have a conversation with somebody that is undecided or that I disagree with, or I can just be like a really neutral sounding board. Like I can test appropriate ideas a bit, we can have a conversation about it, but I'm not going to jump down your throat when you say something that I probably disagree with personally. Unless there's a ton of shit that I disagree with. But I think it's pretty hard to find people like me that can be both critical, but also like kind and patient at the same time. Most people that are going to be critical are going to jump down your throat. Most people that are kind and patient are going to simply like motherfuckers and not give you any, critical feedback at all.
Abba, can I ask, are you getting the vibe from Lab that she's like you're giving her an out, but she doesn't want to take the out, she wants it both ways. She wants to be young and figuring it out, and she wants to be considered an equal amongst these conversations. Speaking of the devil, hi Lav. I'm trying to figure out, like, just if Abba can answer the question, like, I'm just curious, like, I understand where you're coming from as well. Well, I guess Lav now has to answer the question.
Just to summarize, they're just trying to figure out if you're like super manipulative and just trying to do whatever is best for you.
I'm not trying to figure that out. I don't care.
Gotcha.
I already give young people like less opportunities in these conversations because I already know they're operating from limited experience. But if they self-describe themselves as confused people who don't think, then I'm just like, why are we even listening? Like, let's let them go somewhere else and not think. and not have serious political discussions about like, well, what do you
What
think about this, Lav?
Well, here. Well, what do you think about like Sneeko?
Well, Sneeko actually claims that he's thinking things through, so I'm fine with people going at it. Me personally, it became exhausting and repetitive. So
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, so for that, like, I would say that Sneeko does worse than Lav, because at least at the end of the day, Lav is like, oh, like, you know, yeah, maybe I'm dumb and maybe I'm not thinking this through, and maybe I'm too aggressive. So it's like, at least she'll admit it, even if I feel like it might be like kind of a half coat. But like, Sneeko wouldn't say that at all. Sneeko's gonna be like, no, I've broken out, I figured it all out. I'm out of the Matrix. You guys are the bots, right? Like, I don't think I've ever had a conversation or heard Lav say like, oh, you're a bot. You're not thinking this. If she said that to me, I would lose my fucking mind. Right?
Here's the difference.
Yeah.
If you go at Sneeko, and he feels some type of way and you feel some type of way, what we won't fall back on is, well, I didn't think, or I'm confused, or I'm rushing into fast. He's gonna just say, this is what I believe, and then you guys can have a debate on the grounds that he's a full-grown adult who's gonna take accountability for the thoughts that he has. Even if they're stupid, even if they're based on the fact that he's too young to understand them, at least he's holding accountability for whatever he thinks. If Lav is saying, I'm compromised in some kind of way, I need attention, or whatever the fuck it is that she's saying, compelling her to do this stuff, okay? Then there's no point in having these discussions, because even if you do prove her wrong, well then she says, I'm confused.
I guess I would rather, there's a saying, and I'm not gonna be able to remember, but there's a saying where it's like, ignorance is not the most intelligent, or ignorance is not the biggest danger. It's like false intelligence. Like there's like somebody that doesn't know something, or somebody that's ignorant about something, that's a whatever thing. But the scary thing is when somebody thinks they know something. That's way more, in my opinion, frustrating to deal with. So even somebody that's like, oh, okay, well, you know, I don't know this, or I'm changing my mind, or I'm kind of dumb on this particular topic, or whatever. I find that person, so like Lav, is less frustrating to deal with than somebody like Sneeko, who you're saying, well, he takes full accountability. Yeah, but he's super fucking wrong. He's super fucking incorrect. He won't even acknowledge that.
I don't care whether it's frustrating or not. The question is whether or not having these conversations even has a point. If you're talking about the fact that it's frustrating for you, I imagine it probably is frustrating. But at least Sneeko owns what he believes, and then he sticks by it and doesn't hide behind either age or confusion or.
And that's.
Hold on. Actually, no. Let me finish. I said hide as if what you're saying is not true. You may actually be doing this. I didn't mean to doubt it. But I think those conversations at least make more sense to me than speaking to somebody who really doesn't actually.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I would personally prefer. And also, when you say what's the point, we can have different conversations, different reasons for having different conversations. Like, I'm not telling you that like you need to talk to these people. So I understand we all kind of talk to people for different reasons. But like, I would be a happier man. I would prefer it if Sneeko took like the Lav route and was like, oh yeah, you know, I actually don't know a lot of this. Like maybe I am making like big false assumptions. And I am kind of crazy. If Sneeko said that, I would consider that to be a dramatic improvement over where he's at now, even if it might, I guess, feel worse to you in a conversation.
Oh, yeah, I agree on that.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree that it probably would be. I think you guys have conversations on lines about political things. I don't think there's a point to have those conversations in Lab.
Well, yeah, but I think Lav's, to be clear, the conversations that Lav has on here with me aren't usually like, I'm here to debate politics with you. Most of them, if it is a political topic, it's usually relating to her self-development or her self-discovery, generally. It's like a personal topic for her, not just like I'm here to debate about like...
Or about feminism, or about gender, which are things that I actually do know about, thank you very much. I don't like the characterization that I'm just like a retard coming in, because I'm certainly not. I think that's really fucking weird, and you're acting as if like it's like an extremely strange characterization of me. I think that
who, hold on, who are you talking about so we can be clear?
Abba.
Okay.
I think that the past couple drama streams, I think I struggle interpersonally with like the relationship with Steve. I think that the last couple of streams have been like drama, right? But I think the ones where we were talking about like feminism and gender actually were like pretty cool conversations that I think were like fun to have. Like I think that I added a lot in the sex work conversation because I'm a sex worker who's also extremely critical of sex work. Like I think that that's like very nice to have. I think that that's good to platform. I think that that's good to pay attention to. I don't understand why you're acting like I'm just like this like useless retard.
The reason why I'm acting like you're a useless retard is because of the fact that when you speak on these topics, you speak so assertively, and then you're pretty on the edge of being extremely disrespectful. But beyond that, after you're called out on it, then your fallback is I was confused, or I haven't thought these things through, or I was being hypocritical, or whatever. And I'm just like, bruh, if you're not even gonna
you'd rather me not acknowledge that I have shortcomings?
I would rather you not have conversations if you don't think.
I do think. What do you mean? I still stand by 90% of what I said about sex work. I could have definitely been nicer when the
Just to be clear, as a real
It's not
clear,
just
quick thing.
myself.
What
I
so what
think
Abba's frustration is was the thing that I said before, was that like Abba's just upset that for you it sounds like you're taking accountability by saying I don't know, but for Abba it feels like that's a way of avoiding accountability by making extreme statements and then saying I don't know. That's like the opposite.
Sure, but do you know how inhuman it is for a person to, in the middle of a conversation, be like, "Oh my God, you're so right. I'm so wrong. I'm gonna
What?
I'm like, that's not normal."
Well, don't let them mock Bailey. Abba said you don't think when you talk. That's what you're responding to. Don't let Steven slip in some charitable sounding bullshit that you can respond to instead.
True. I do think before I speak most of the time.
Okay, look, but Lab is literally doing it to herself. Like,
Listen, I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Keep carry on having these conversations. Do whatever you please. I just think when I listen to you, I don't understand where you stand. I don't understand why you don't stand where you stand anymore.
No,
You are like soup
shut up,
when it
thank
comes
you.
to these
No,
conversations.
shut up, thank you.
So
No,
I
I
just
think
want
that
to say,
we definitely have different thought patterns.
what did you just say to me? Did you just tell me to shut up?
Yeah, I think that we have different thought patterns.
If you would have added the B word, I honestly would have been upset.
Well, yeah, I can see that about you. You're very sensitive and emotional. But I
Oh,
think
using that as an insult.
Why? Lab,
That
why?
wasn't an insult.
Lab, why? Abba's so nice. Why?
well, Abba, no, hold on. Abba came in a little heated towards her. She can be heated.
Abba is not nice. Don't run cover for. Stop running interference for him. Wait, you're in a. You guys are in like a 4v1, and no one will.
Wait, it's not
no
a
one will let
4v1.
Lab even- It absolutely is, and you won't even let Lab finish her response to Abba saying she doesn't think when she talks. Imagine if someone said that to Steve.
No,
Well, but that,
Abba
hold on, that's
trying
because at the
to
end of
listen to
conversations,
Lab.
I don't ever use okay. Back up through so many layers, so many pages. Okay. The problem that Abba has is that after Lab seems to be caught out on something, one of the reasons she gives feels like an excuse or defense to him, where she's saying, "Oh well, I haven't thought about this enough," or "Oh, like I'm younger," blah blah blah. Abba's saying that feels like an excuse, and if you were to say to like Lab, like, "Oh well, it feels like you're kind of dumb, you don't understand what he's saying," he's saying that because of those things that she says. If you were to say to Destiny, "Oh, Destiny's really stupid," or "He's dumb because he doesn't think," well, I'm not giving that same excuse. Well, sometimes I'm dumb and I just don't think about things, so it'd be different if you applied it to me than if you applied it to Lab.
All right, when people, some people say things. People say things.
Novelty
that
is,
are
I think part of the novelty of my position is that I am in real time finding my own place in sex work with all the criticisms that I have. I think that that's really valuable.
I think that's true of everybody, but I think we all have to deal with it when we say something that we realize was wrong when we thought we were right. And then, so if you want to listen to a streamer who is going to say, "Yeah, I was wrong and I was emotional, I was 24 or whatever," and explain why, listen to Lab. If you want to listen to somebody who's going to dig their heels in, then listen to Abba. But like they're both. There's not really like a good way out of that situation.
Just different philosophies. Abba, if you want to be that person, you can be that person, and you also never have to listen to me. No one is forcing you to. So
You're
it doesn't
absolutely
make
correct.
it doesn't make any sense that you're complaining about it.
I'm not complaining. I was just making the
No,
point.
you are.
Well, no, complaining would be like, I wish Lab wasn't on this
Could
video,
I get to speak, or do I need to tell you to shut up? I just want to make sure. So what I was trying to tell Destiny is that Fury is having constant conversations where he's getting heated. I just thought it was very bizarre to me that you would often have this position where I don't know what I'm thinking, or I'm confused about my thoughts, or I haven't thought these things through, as a bit of a cop-out to these conversations. To me, that's not me being like, "Oh my God, can you stop bringing this on?" I'm just like confused. Like, why are you getting mad about this? She's told you she doesn't think through what she says long enough. So I don't know. I don't find those kind of conversations.
You're using what I think is a strength of mine to discredit me in your worldview, which is a problem.
I mean, you could see it as a strength. I personally don't, but that's fine.
No, exactly. This is just so if you value being steadfast, even if you're wrong, that's your deal, and I don't agree with it either.
No.
I'm never going to talk to Steven and be like, I don't know, he's really stubborn. Do you think it's like you're not going to change his mind? Why do you?
That's not what I value. What I value is that.
No, that is what you value because that's literally the
Okay,
inverse.
all right. I'm gonna tell you to shut up just so I can get my point.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, what I value is that people who are gonna have strong opinions the way that you had about some of these conversations have actually taken the time to think things through. And then instead, when you have such a strong opinion, you're so cavalier about the shit that you say,
And I was still adaptable and movable and given new information. That is a strength.
Lev, I think you should reject the premise that your character is on trial and that it's acceptable for Abba to come in and just start criticizing. I think even by responding to his criticism, it's a weird situation where it's just like everybody who has an opinion on whether Lab is full of shit should just come in and start talking about it.
I don't think that was Abba's initial position. I think Abba just wanted to know why I was pursuing those conversations. Probably because they're a bit different than the other types of
No,
like,
but he was
political-
also he used that as a way to like posture himself above you.
No, I don't think. No,
He said
no.
he said she doesn't think before she speaks.
But that's no, but that's part.
Dan called her a snake. Abba said, Abba said the reason I'm speaking.
Wait,
to you is
Abba's
you're
conversation and Dan's conversation were totally separate. You can't compare the two.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. They're totally. You just compared them. They're totally different conversations.
No, you and Lav are having some kind of conflict. You guys are talking about it. It's heard between the two. Lav said something on my screen that you believe she should hold her feet to the fire and make her own it. You believe she should escape responsibility and have it both ways. That's totally fine. But the idea that all of your buddies here are going to come in and start Adam's like, well, Lav, what about this? What about this? I think you don't speak. I think you're a snake. It's just, Lav, I invite you to not accept, don't accept the terms.
Hi, Cherry.
Ah, Cherry. Hello. How's it going?
Hey man, listen, I'm gonna just head out.
Well, yeah, but this, use your insight.
Hi, Emma.
Stretch the PC.
Hi, Cherry. Do you have any thoughts?
Any big thoughts?
Oh, we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Totally relaxed. We've actually been singing Kumbaya and, you know, been doing great.
How you feel, Cherry? How you feeling? Like, what happened? What's going on? Listen, everyone makes mistakes. You just kind of acknowledge it and move on. That's
Except
the
for
way.
me. Except for me.
Well, you don't acknowledge it, right? Well, at least that's the perception for people. I don't know. Is it?
I've been forced to acknowledge more than anyone ever has in this orbit.
Hold on.
Stop.
Stop.
But I think that people have put me to the fire a lot more than I think that it's far more frequent.
Have you ever seen there's like a really funny image. It was on the Passion of the Christ, and it has Mel Gibson sitting down next to the actor that was playing Jesus Christ. Right there. You ever seen that one before? I can send it.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's like you and Steven right now. It's a really good
Stop.
one. Super funny.
I just want to acknowledge I haven't watched any of your content until August 8th, so I'm really not sure like what fire I put you into.
Wait, how did Cherry get dragged into this? Wait, what?
I wasn't dragging through.
Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry.
I do wonder what this whole obsession with accountability is.
Well, without acknowledging our mistakes, we can't learn from them and move on, right? We'll just guess it.
Well,
And
sure,
you're making
but
them over and over again.
sure, but don't you think that there's a level of like personal introspection that someone does off screen?
Well, you would expect that to happen, but
Yeah.
but actions kind of speak to that happening or not happening. Right?
I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think that it takes a long time to put something in action, especially if you're like me and have had, trouble with something. Like, you can assume that I probably have had more trouble than just like the past 2 months with asserting my feelings or my thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense that if this is like a pattern I've had for a long time, that it would be hard to change in like 2 months, right?
Sure, but I think it would also be expectant from people that you would still continue to get shit over it if they did not see progress and you're a public figure doing that, right? So it certainly might take a long time, but you should also have the expectation that people are going to still have these similar views of you as change doesn't happen, because that's natural. You can't get out of it. So
I agree. And I think that that's normal and natural, but also I think that I can express how like how sad it is to get so much feedback constantly, and then have to sift through all the real feedback, and then just people saying that I should shut the fuck up forever and die. Like that's hard for anyone to do.
You discard feedback that you view as just being, I guess, unhelpful, or that's not fitting your narrative of what's going on, I guess, or
No, that's a complete mischaracterization.
Well, that's why I wasn't a mischaracterization. I was asking a question.
Yeah, so like I said, it's the ones that are like shut the fuck up forever and die that is like not actual feedback, right?
Sure.
So I think that I like reading the subreddit, and I still do, even though there's a lot of bad stuff in there, because I really like to sift through like what I could be changing to make myself more dynamic and like better at my job, essentially.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people have really good feedback, and some of it is even hurtful feedback, right? Some of it is said with like not like some of it is very harsh, and I still take it to mind. But it's the things that are like, you know, she should just shut the fuck up and stuff her mouth with more cock, that I'm like, okay, how much do I take from this?
Yeah,
like
those just get thrown out. Like,
yeah,
you can't
So what?
listen to those.
Yeah,
No,
what is
I
the
mean-
other feedback that you think is harder to swallow, but you think has some truth behind it?
I think that
I mean, the cock feedback sounds pretty hard to swallow, but
Shut up.
I'm so sorry.
No, that was actually a really good setup. That was good. I think I don't know. I think I mean, obviously, like the personal stuff, like you know, talking about like right now, one of the most upvoted things is me talking about how I struggle interpersonally with men. And that's like upvoted on the subreddit. It like has nothing to do with anything that we've spoken about, but they're like, this person needs to not be online, this person needs to like be locked away and get immense help, where I'm like, oh geez, like this isn't like helpful at all, and it feels like it's just like a shitting contest on like, let's find everything that's wrong with her, like witch hunt.
What happened with you? Like, I saw a clip, I think it was on the Reddit this morning, of you, I guess, reading messages from Melina, and what's happening with that whole thing right there? Because I haven't seen too much of your interaction. I kind of, you know, I was talking to her a little bit. I thought some fun stuff, but it seems like there's actually some serious stuff going on there. Like, what's happening with all that?
Serious?
Well, I mean, we can find the clip. I don't know. It was just you were reading her messages.
Yeah, I don't think that's serious. I think that she was having an emotional response to me having an argument with her husband. I think that's perfectly normal and natural. It hasn't become like anything bigger.
Okay. So you guys are like on the same page. Everything's fine with that then?
Well, I've never spoken
Lav,
to her.
stop letting him fish.
Wait, I'm just curious. Wait, you were reading DMs on a chat? Like,
No, it's
what?
DMs. Melina's posting messages in my chat room because she likes to make my life as difficult as possible. So.
I mean, you gotta type, honey. You gotta type. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that was like a.
Well, we shouldn't just call them emotional, because they're text. You can't read that much into them, right?
Let's see if I have where's the link to these?
they were plentiful.
Okay.
I wish I wouldn't have read them.
Lav, if you had to pick someone in this group right now that you trust the most, who would it be?
Myself. I think probably Max, and then Steven shortly after.
Max, do you want to answer that question? I'd love to hear your reply.
Who I trust the most? I don't have an answer. Definitely it's between Steven and Lav, but depends on trust for what.
Cherry, do you have an answer?
Probably Steven.
Stardust?
Yeah, Steven.
Dan, we know you're Steven, right?
I suppose so. I got the hours in, as they say. Well,
Steven,
certainly none of you guys. That's for goddamn sure.
Jesus.
What the hell?
Steven, you answer.
Understandable.
Probably Dan, just 'cause I've known him the longest.
And because I'm the most trustworthy, obviously.
You're trustworthy because if you fuck with me, I'll go to your house and.
Yeah, among reason.
Fuck his pillow.
And I want you guys to all know that no amount of bitching, whining, anything will change that fact. I'm number one. You guys need to get in line, okay? You can't buy your way in. It's only hours, all right? And we're both getting old at the same rate of time. So every hour you put in, I put in another hour. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Why did that, Brittany?
Well, a part of me is just gathering information. I guess I'm trying to figure out, what does everyone want from their interactions online? What are we all doing here? I want to have good conversations about good ideas. It seems like there's some friendships that could occur, which would be awesome. There's not a lot of trust in general, but there is a sense of trust, like Max said, depends on what kind of trust with what. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what would be the best case scenario. Like, I want to give you an outlaw for a lot of the mistakes, and then I want to hold you accountable if you want to be held accountable, I guess. I don't really care. But I think people in discussions, like, want some sort of, like, baseline for what is reality. And to do that, there would be a need to hold people either accountable or push them in a direction. So I'm trying to figure out if there's too much personal shit that's getting in the way of ideas, or if the ideas just aren't as interesting as the personal shit. And that's why we always end up back here. Because we're not attacking Lav for her ideas, really. We're attacking Lav for her character and her ideas.
Well, everybody, the problem, well, okay, if we want to have this conversation, we can, but there's like 4 different conversations going on, and I think we have to be clear which one we're talking about, right?
Exactly. So I think that's the issue. If we all started, not over, but if we said, okay, we're all adults and we've all decided X, what is the X we could all decide together? Is there a way out of this, or are we just going to keep, like, do you know what I'm saying? What's the solution? Is there a solution? Is there even a problem?
Well, yeah, what's the problem? Shut up.
Is there a problem? Does anyone feel like there's a problem right now? Laugh? Terry? Max?
Well, everybody probably has different problems for different reasons right now, right?
I got a big problem. Yeah, I'm here to confront Steven. But
yeah, we've all got problems. So Brittany, you don't have any problems in here.
problem
I think
ties
you're just
in
an
with
observer.
Max's problem.
Jerry's got a problem that she made a big mistake recently, and she probably feels pretty bad about it. It sounds like she's working on overcoming it. Dan's only problem here is trying to stir up more drama. I don't have any problems. I'm just here kind of chilling with everybody. Lab's got a problem that my community's shitting on her, and she feels like she's not being taken seriously by anybody. Mr. Girl's got...
No, that's not it.
Okay, don't care. Mr. Girl's got problems, and that obviously relating my stubborn in the way that it moderation.
Personality that you don't have.
That wasn't an avoidant personality. I've already engaged with you for like 10 fucking hours over the past 2 days. I don't need to do it again. And then Stardust obviously has issues related to her and Max's friendship deteriorating. And now she's in here, so everybody's got problems, but they're all of these things are kind of like for different reasons.
And I also fucked up.
Sure,
as well.
and she fucked up as well, yeah. So everybody's here for like different reasons.
Steven, do you see how it could be damaging to my view of you being like very charitable, or like how I can like trust you or maintain a friendship with you when you say that like you don't care because you've heard it enough about my feelings?
No, what I'm saying is that like if we have another discussion over what your problems are, it's going to be another 45-minute conversation. I don't know if I want to head in that direction right now. If that makes you feel like you don't trust me or whatever, that's totally fine.
Okay. I also feel like you not caring about my feelings does another thing to our relationship, though.
If you feel like that's an indication of me not caring about your feelings, then we were never going to work as friends anyway, because I've shown above and beyond consideration for your feelings. If that one line in the middle of a conversation with 9 people was enough to turn you off from it, then that's totally fine with me as well.
Well, no, I'm not going from extreme to extreme. I'm trying to let you know, like, when I go there, when I follow my train of thought out of like the hurt that I feel when I feel invalidated by you, like that's where I go. It's like
sure, I understand.
broadly, all I was